Hi everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru. Imagine 3 in a row, guys. 3 Aussies in a row. And this one's the most interesting of them all. Because normally I get shitloads of Americans, people from the UK, but very few people from my home country. So all you Aussies out there, make sure you come and get your 15 minutes of fame. I've got this awesome guest today. He's a character, believe me, he is. His name is Robbie McKenzie. And Robbie is a CEO of the company's called Realm Group Australia. He's involved in something very important, guys. You don't eat without this man. He's involved in agriculture for 30 plus years. Imagine that, what he might know about agriculture, guys. So best description, we have the only one of its type in the world, list, sell, auction it, an affiliate program, 5 social media outlets advertised on a daily. We operate it in Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Canada, and USA. He'll tell us a bit more about that shortly. Key achievements or projects. I was the first guy to sell cattle or sheep online in Australia, then machinery. I invented the online multi-vendor auction platform that everyone uses today. He's won a sustainability award, just won the agricultural CEO of the year. Congratulations, my friend. That's quite an achievement. Well deserved. And I've been featured on a few magazines globally, etc. We're about to launch the Farmer's Toolkit, which again will be the first in the world, both in AI and SI. He'll tell you what SI is shortly. Personal motto, our system is built by farmers, for farmers. The future is not coming, it's now. That's why it's called the present, guys, because it's now. Interesting fact about himself, I love it, never give up, a bit like Churchill. I had a tax legislation change many years ago for another idea I had that a lot of Australians still use today. And so it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Robbie McKenzie. How are you, Robbie?
G'day, Jeff. How are you? Thanks for having me, and thanks for all your listeners for listening to both of us.
Yeah, we'll bore them. Let's see if we can bore them together. All right, let's get the show underway. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue that bloody hard work being a farmer all those years ago. How did that all come about?
I guess if I really peel back the onion layers, it all started when I was very, very young. My dad died when I was 8, so I really had to look after my mum and 3 sisters in a 2-bedroom commission home. I grew vegetables, raised chickens, and I did anything and everything for anybody to make $1 so we could survive, basically. So that's, I don't honestly know, but I'm guessing that's probably how it got instilled in me. And then all my family, my external family, they're all farmers. So one thing led to another. So all my school holidays, every spare minute, I was on a farm somewhere.
Yeah.
It sort of grew from there, and one thing led to another. And as you said earlier, I was the first guy to actually try as a teenager to convince farmers to sell livestock online. Now, when I started, that was in the 80s. Most people, A, didn't have a computer, B, didn't have a mobile phone, and more often than not, they didn't even know what the internet was. So we were walking in front of the curve, and I was a teenager trying to convince 60-year-old farmers to sell livestock online. And in those days, it was just a dot on a screen. Today, it's pretty pictures and videos. None of that existed.
Yeah. So, you made me remember, I just realised I'd forgotten all about it until you brought it up, because I'm 77. I was actually a stock buyer. I remember going to the bloody auctions. You had to have a bit of an idea what everything was worth. I remember going to the auctions as a young, about 22, a young stock buyer, and I got the sack, because what I did, because I thought it was pretty unethical in my part, I was going and playing cards on a Friday night with the opposition. And my boss told me, that's got to stop. And I go, no, that ain't going to stop at all. I'm enjoying myself. And he said, well, you won't be here Monday. I said, that's fine. Goodbye.
See you later.
So I got the sack for playing cards with, because we didn't talk shop. We talked about bloody how to make money playing cards.
Yeah, you were trying to make $1. So
that's it. Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, I think that, so trying to convince those farmers to do that was a challenge in itself, only because I could just see that there was such a need for it. And as we discussed earlier before we started, for whatever reason, I can see down the road long before it's actually needed or most people think of it. But I'll give you an example. when I started back there, 30 odd years ago, trying to convince people to sell livestock online, that was sheep and cattle. If we had a really good month, we might have sold 100 or 200. That's how it started. One day last year, Auctions Plus, which is the largest auction platform in Australia, agricultural auction platform, which they create, they thank me for building what they've got, really. But anyway, that's another story. They sold nearly 20,000 head in one Friday.
Yeah, amazing. And I just find farmers so bloody dry. They're so cynical because they've seen it all. They realise how tough the world is, and they do it, and they do it hard. You shake a farmer's hand, it feels like bloody sandpaper.
That's right. Yeah, they know how to work. That's for sure. The vast majority do. That's for sure.
Yeah, whereas most people never done a day's work in their life. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work over the years, and how have you overcome that?
I think the most challenging aspect for me would be getting farmers to accept change.
That's right. That's why I say they're very dogmatic, aren't they?
Yeah, and it still is today. It's really no different today, but it's becoming easier and easier as the years unfold.
Yes.
It's becoming easier and easier and easier to get them to accept. And I've got some more stats for you a little bit later on in regards to some AI and SI.
They probably network better now. If they get into groups, if you do it and Johnny does it, they might do it. So you're a pioneer. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yeah. When I started doing a lot of this stuff, I was the first, number one.
Yes.
So I had no backing and no support because we didn't really know if it was going to work. It was just an idea. But I think that's probably the hardest thing. So as a teenager trying to convince farmers to sell livestock online, that was the first scenario. But it's really no different today, other than you're exactly right. Today, there's a lot more buy-in from groups. There's a lot more buy-in for the younger generations, all those sorts of things. So,
yes.
And COVID rapidly changed our whole game.
Yes.
Overnight, it was forced everybody to come online.
Yeah, which is for you, I guess for you is a good thing. For me, it was a bad thing. I got wiped out.
Yeah, well, it really wasn't that good for me from one aspect because I was virtually the only guy doing what I was doing up until then. Now every bastard does it.
Yeah. So tell us about an important moment in your career that pretty much changed your direction, I guess, when you took everything online, is it?
Yeah, when we went 100% online with everything, that was a big change. But I think personally, as much as I just commented on COVID, I think COVID, when I reflect on it, I think it was probably the best thing that ever happened to us. As much as at the time I didn't think that, but I do now, because a lot more acceptability came.
It changed our thinking, didn't it? It changed our thinking.
Oh, 100%. We've even got people now that sit at home and order their groceries now. I tried to get involved in that, back in the early 2000s, and nobody would buy in. Well, guess what? They do today.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I think from my point of view, COVID was a major for me.
Yeah.
And getting people to actually accept and look at this new technology that we're all playing with today. And hey, I'm no expert, but for whatever reason, I can see the advantages of a lot of stuff that's coming. And autonomous vehicles, robotics, all that sort of
over here, and probably in Australia too, they've got little booths set up, guys, like a shipping container, except they're glass. You can see through them, and you put your money or you swipe your card outside this box, like a container. You swipe your card, you press a button. It might be cappuccino, 2 sugar, 1 milk, and the robot comes into life and makes it and puts it in the hole, hands it to you. A robot.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and it's funny. There's a lot of things in the agricultural sector that I've been harping on about robotics and technology, particularly in the ag tech space, obviously.
Yes.
For probably 15 or 20 years. And now, I'm going to give you some stats in a minute. Now, 89% of Australian farmers use technology to some degree.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to.
Whereas when I started, it'd be 0.89% in virtually.
Well, in your day, you get a bit of string, you go outside. If the string moved, it was windy. If it was wet, it was rainy.
Yeah. So I think that's that's probably one of the things that from an important moment in my life was really COVID, and it made me look at things differently too, and then it forced me not to look at where I was going and where I thought we all needed to be. It forced me to go to the next level, which is great.
Like a chess game, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got to be a few moves ahead. But the good thing, you're a thinker. It's quite obvious. You're a thinker. You're not your typical farmer. Your typical farmer, you know, he's very set in his ways. This is the way his attitude is, this is the way we always did it.
That's correct.
Yeah. If you have that attitude, you'll still be getting around the horse and buggy.
That's exactly right. Yeah. No, I'm way past that.
Yeah, correct. Right. In your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have contributed to your success along the way?
Well, number one, be working with good people. Now, I've met a lot of really great people. You know, I've got over 80,000 farmers in my database. There's probably not another company in Australia has got a database that big of real farmers. There's other databases that are bigger, but they'll be social media databases or whatever. But true Aussie farmers, which is just about all of them, the reality is that really good people. You know, I've made lots and lots of really good friends who some have listened to me, some have told me to my face that I'm crazy, and others that have said, yeah, let's give it a crack and see what happens. So between all those three sectors, put them all together, you know, there wouldn't be an area in Australia that I couldn't get a bed for the night if I really wanted one. So I think good people will be the first one. And then learning to help each other. I took that upon myself to educate people to do that, not so much me. I'm just normal. I'm just happy to do it. So that's why I think I said to you before, you know, I'm probably more of an educator than anything, as much as I want to be a farmer. I want to ride horses and play with my bulls. And then over and above that, I think it's tenacity, drive, determination, and foresight.
Yeah. And you're a giver. I mean, it's quite obvious. You're a giver in a world full of takers, guys. That's reality. There are givers and takers, and it's the givers that drive the world. I've got a quick question for you. I'm just curious. Does the Land newspaper or magazine still exist?
Yes, sir, it does. Yeah, but it's, you know, print media now is really dying.
Yeah, correct.
There is some out there still that hang in there, like the Weekly Times, which is the Victorian version of the Land, so to speak.
Right.
They're sort of becoming half and half now. So
yeah, I guess once again, because of the dogmatic farmers who are in their 50s and 60s, they've always gone to the local newsagent and bought their magazine or their paper, and they're going to keep doing that till the day they die.
They will. Yeah, that's right. But the younger generation, they don't have time to go down to the
they go online or whatever, or they're doing something else.
Yeah, they'll do it on their phone while they're driving the tractor.
And the younger generation, I'm sure they're not getting their hands dirty.
No, not like we did.
No, that's for sure. Tell me, what's your secret? How do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field as much as what you've already done? What's your secret there?
You know, we talked about common sense before. Well, I just think I'm a common sense type guy, and I don't need to repeat it, but my dad died when I was young, so it gave me that. So that really forced me to. I don't look at it, you know, I don't regret any of it other than my dad dying, of course, but I don't regret any of my upbringing or whatever, but
a lesson of life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I do think I've never forgotten this one. This is my best mate who lives in Dallas, Texas. Now, this is a big guy. He's a power lifter, still is. He's in his 60s now. He's still lifting, you know, way more weight than I could even dream of lifting. Ran third in the world, okay, as a powerlifter. So he's a big boy. But his dad always used to say, you don't have time to get ready. You have to be ready.
I like that.
Something that, yeah, I like it. That's something that resonated with me for a long, long time. That's been in the back of my mind for a long time.
Let me go again. Repeat that for me.
You don't have time to get ready. You have to be ready.
Yeah, I'm writing this down. I'm going to steal it.
Yeah, no, it's a great statement. Unfortunately, the man that came up with that statement is long gone, but I've never forgot it, and I sort of take that on in life too. Like,
absolutely,
I do things way in advance than most people would even think. Yeah, and it's just I don't know. It's just my nature. I can't help it.
Yeah, my nature is this, and it serves me well, right? I've always got a plan B. And quite often in life, guys, plan A doesn't work, right? So
That's
what's
true.
your plan B? Most people think it's going to work and don't have a plan B, and they shit themselves when something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I look at it a little bit differently. Another good mate of mine from Australia, we did a lot of work together. In fact, we sold 5,030 investment properties in 6 years. So
Wow.
yeah, we sold. Yeah, if you do the numbers, that's about 2 a day.
Yeah, really amazing.
So, but he always used to say to me, he'd say, Robbie, if you have plan B, you don't expect plan A to work. Now, I have a little bit of a twist to that story. So
Yeah, I like that.
I've had many plan A's that didn't work, but when I got to the crossroad and you had to turn left or right, I just went the opposite direction and kept going.
Yeah, that's right.
I never look back.
No,
So
I tell people, and you being a farmer, you'd love this. I say, guys, you got to have rain to see a rainbow. So when it rains, don't worry about it.
That's right. It's a positive.
You know the rainbow's coming.
Yeah. So the last thing, as far as motivation, is I'm really super excited and keen to keep educating the agricultural community in multiple countries. I just can't get enough of it. I love it.
Well, the thing is, you haven't got a job, my friend. You're like me. You've got a passion, and when you've got a passion, guys, you don't work. It's just a passion. You eat, live, and breathe it. It's like having a paid hobby. It's so much fun.
That's true. I just reiterate on an example that I mentioned earlier. So part of what I started 30 odd years ago, as I said to you, 89% of Australian farmers now, and we lead the world, by the way, as far as farmers accepting technology. 89% of them use technology to some degree today.
Awesome.
Which I think was really great. And it's probably the thing that I'm most proud of, because I had a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, lovely. Well, right
at the start, back in the 80s.
You're leaving a legacy. That's the cool thing. You're leaving a legacy, right?
I guess.
Robbie, moving along, tell us about a recent project or achievement, Robbie, amongst your many. Tell us one you're particularly proud of, my friend.
I think, there's many, but I think one I've done just of recent is just done a deal with the Fijian government. And it all started because some charity work I do.
Yes.
And one thing led to another. And then I actually went to Fiji and I saw what was happening in their country, which, to be honest with you, really upset me. Their country's been taken over by other people, and it's terrible. They're
other
losing
people being what? Koreans, Russians, Chinese?
Yeah, let's just say other countries.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And I think it's terrible because
it's idyllic. It's a beautiful place, right? It's idyllic.
Yeah, it is. And they're losing their culture. So anyway, I started chatting to a few people. One thing led to another. And so now we've done a deal with the Fijian government. They want us to supply a lot of new and used equipment to Fiji.
Oh, lovely.
For a whole bunch of activities. We've also formed a entity which is called Realm Group Fiji, which is 30% owned by the original landowners of Fiji. Again, never been done before. That's a world first.
Wow, what a project. You're a star, Robbie.
And then ultimately what will happen, what my game plan there is that we will hand that company over to them. So, we'll get them in, we're going to teach them, we're going to educate them. We've got a whole bunch of agricultural stuff happening over there. So we'll just see what happens. But ultimately,
that's interesting, that project, because I've got a good buddy of mine who owns. He set it all up. He owns one of the biggest hospitals in Papua New Guinea. He's like you. He's a trendsetter, right? He's bought all the latest equipment from America. So all the other hospitals are suffering because everybody goes to him, especially the richer people who've got money, because he's got all the right gear to save your life. Right. So he might be. I should put you two together. Papua New Guinea might be one of your next projects down the track.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him for that reason, because it's funny you mentioned that, because I've also been asked to duplicate this model that we've formed throughout the Pacific, and we'd include PNG in that.
Yeah, and then when you're there, you can watch the new football team in a couple of years' time.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Tell me, what advice would you give a 20-year-old version of you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I
I
know you
think,
got the. I know you've got the right answer. You just got to get it out of you. I know you've got it on the tip of your tongue.
yeah, I think I know the answer because I just reflect back on what I did. So just a little bit of brief on me. When I started, I was the only one. I did 109,000 Ks in 9 months driving around.
Wow.
Okay, trying to teach farmers how to sell livestock online, and I really got nowhere. I
Yeah.
really got nowhere. Now you look at it today, and as I said, nearly 20,000 head of cattle sold in one day on Auctions
Well,
Plus.
now you can almost ring them up and just tell them who you are, and they'll probably come on board.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because
That's
before
his.
you're probably spending half a day with them chewing a bit of wheat, trying to convince them.
Yeah. So I think from my perspective, because it was really tough for me and it was tough for my family as well. I was married, I had young kids, all that sort of
Right.
stuff. I bought
Wow.
a dairy farm when I was 19 on $1,000 deposit, and I was doing all this stuff at the same time.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Good story. You should write.
Yeah, and it just kept going and going. So I think I think I think I could have done life a lot easier, and this is one of the reasons why we formed the affiliate program we have. So it's a little bit of a story, but the short version is to answer the question, what I would do now as a 20-year-old is I would align myself with somebody
Yeah, get
that's
a mentor.
well, it's already got the team on the field. You just need to go. You know, when I started, there was no goalposts.
Yeah, correct.
At least now we've got a team and we've got
There was no oval, let alone goalposts.
yeah. So I think that's why I was sitting there one night. This is a few years ago now, and I thought I really got upset with the amount of young people, men and women, young guys, young girls that are leaving the family farm because mum and dad simply
Yes.
can't afford to keep them there.
Yeah, that's
I thought, well, why can't I come up with something? So that's when we formulated the affiliate program, which has now gone global. We're about, next year we'll really explode, but this year we're already started in Canada and the US. But what the affiliate program does, it gives the average young guy or young girl that's sitting at home, still trying to help mum and dad, wants to stay home.
good.
They can earn $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, whatever they want to earn
Yeah,
while they're sitting at home, driving around in the tractor or helping mum and dad. So they don't have to leave home. All they need is a phone.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, my friend.
And we share the profit. So we have the mechanism. We do all the advertising. We do all the marketing. We do all the
Fantastic.
invoicing.
What a mission. What an incredible person you are. One of my guests said to me the other day, and it doesn't apply to you, but she said, be a better human. And I thought, that's a movement. I said, what a great thing. If everyone was a better human, what an awesome world it would be.
I think we could all be a little bit better every day. I think there's always something we could.
I'm just saying that. What a good world would be if everyone lived by that mission, right? Be a better human.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Looking
So I
ahead,
think the short version there is somebody following. I think, I've got 30 odd years at this caper. I'm surrounded by a lot of people. Everybody in our system is either a farmer or an ex-farmer.
yep.
So there's a depth of knowledge there, which is, 100 years. And like I said, they don't have to do anything. And just cut it short, in simple terms, we split whatever we get. It's as simple as that. Doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
And all they need is their bloody mobile phone. That's it.
Yeah. I would say my advice to young people would be number one, trust your gut. Just go for it. Trust your gut. Don't let the dream stealers take away your dreams. Trust your gut, and also get a mentor like Robbie. And you can save 5 or 10 years off the journey by listening to people and get a mentor, right? And you might have an idea that Robbie's never thought of, and you can put the two and two together.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah,
it's all about networking, guys, especially this day and age. Looking ahead, Robbie, what are your goals and aspirations for your future? What are you up to?
Again, we don't have enough time to talk about that because I've got a lot of them.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't sit still. Never have. Anybody that knows me will tell you that. In fact, I've been told many times I'm not human because I am a workaholic. I have really good and strong visions for where we're heading with the agricultural sector. Next Friday, we are going to release some information about the Farmers Toolkit, which is an AI program, which is a lot more involved than what it sounds, which I think is going to help a lot of people. one of the reasons why I come up with that, this is a true story. It happened about 18 months ago. I was driving back from Queensland, dropping in on a few clients, and a lady who I'd never met, but I knew her husband, he had stock trucks, and unfortunately Ken had passed away, and she wanted me, she knew we were mates, and she wanted me to sell his trailers and his trucks, etc., etc. So I dropped in there this day, and I'd just driven about 16 hours to get to her. Okay. I was there less than 10 minutes. We're standing next to one of his Kenworths, and she gets a phone call to say the neighbour just killed himself.
Oh, God.
And I thought I'll never forget the look on her face. She's a very good friend of mine today, still is, but it was so sad. And for whatever reason, I'd seen that, and, unfortunately I've seen a fair bit of it, but for whatever reason, that day it really hit me. And I'm not sure why, because I didn't know the chap that did it. I know the family now, but I didn't at the time. And consequently, I was there for 10 minutes. I drove 14 odd hours to get there, and 10 minutes of driving out the gate. And it really hit me, and I thought, we need to do something for our farmers. So one of the things in our toolkit is to help those people in need. There's a lot of help you manage the farm and all that sort of stuff.
Get them to communicate. They don't have to be alone anymore, right?
That's correct.
If you get any message out of this, guys, reach out to either myself or Robbie anytime, 24/7. Right? If you want someone to talk to, have a chat to, lift your spirits, we're here for you. All right?
Sure. Yeah.
So
then over and above that, so that's the AI stuff that we've got coming, and we've got some SI stuff, which we touched on earlier, which is called synthetic intelligence.
What does that mean, Robbie?
The difference between AI and synthetic intelligence, AI is what we've already done.
Yes.
Okay? And as we use it more and more, it learns more and more. Synthetic intelligence says, this is what you should do, or this is what you could do.
Right. Interesting.
So that's a very simplistic version of the two. So AI basically copies what we've already done, and that's how it learns from us.
Yep.
Synthetic intelligence is the next step up. Most people would not have heard of it. Okay, but it's the next.
You're right. Me included.
Yeah, so it's the next step up. So that's a big pill for a lot of people in agriculture to swallow. So our core business is selling livestock and equipment and real estate online. That's our core business. These are ancillary businesses that I believe is going to revolutionize the way we do things, because it's already happening, number one. And if I can help save a few lives and that with a few of those tools, I'll be proud of that as well. So I think,
my friend, you're leaving a legacy. You're an aspiring person, my friend. Do you do much? I'm just curious. Because you're doing so much in that space? Are you in touch with the government much, or you just can't be bothered with all the bullshit?
To put it bluntly, not the Australian government.
Yeah.
But I'm dealing with the Fijian government. I'm dealing with the Canadian government, and I'm dealing with the US government.
See how stupid Australian government is, guys. They just don't get it. They just don't care. They just don't get it. There's
too much red tape in Australia, and they always talk about helping the farmers, and they never do.
No, that's right. Talk is cheap, right? All the promise until they win the election, all the promises are there. Anyway, before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Well, I think the funniest thing about me is I'm crazy, because there's nothing I won't have a crack at. So I've jumped out of aeroplanes, you name it. I've jumped on it, I've jumped off it, I've jumped out of it.
Tell us about the bull riding and the broken pelvis. Tell us that story.
Oh, that's a story for yeah. Anyways, so bull riding, I still love riding bulls, even though I'm way, way too old, because it takes too long to heal now. But bull riding's always been a passion. I think, as I said to you earlier, real men ride bulls and play rugby.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you've got to be crazy, number one.
Absolutely.
Got to have a fair bit of grit as well, because otherwise you wouldn't do either. I remember some Americans come over here to play rugby, and they all went out on the field, and the first thing he asked for was, where was the protection gear?
Yeah, where's all the helmets? Where's the shoulder pads? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't use it. And riding dirt bikes. I've had dirt bikes all my life, and quarter horses. Yeah. I actually built the first and most successful privately funded motocross team in the country.
Wow, very awesome. You're an amazing man, my friend. They should do a Netflix on you.
Yeah, and I also ran Subaru Rally Team Australia. We won 8 championships in a row.
Wow.
That was my hobby.
Yeah. Well, the reason you won, you got a passion. Everything you do, you do 100%, right? And if you're going to do something, guys, do it 100% or don't do it. It's that simple, you know.
I'm going to tell you this is a fun fact that I only told a guy the other day. It's one of the guys that works for me. He laughed his head off. I said, when I bought a dairy farm when I was 19 on $1,000 deposit.
Wow.
I didn't have $2. I still got the receipt. And Peter Shepherd was the name of the bank manager. I went to about 100 banks right across Victoria to the New South Wales border. Anyway, he said to me, "I like your spunk, young fella." I went in there with a pad and pen, and this was my plan. Told him what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. Anyway, we made it happen. But first year was floods. Second year was drought. Third year, interest rates went to 21.75.
Remember that? Yeah.
And dairy prices dropped in half. So I was flat broke. Okay, had no money. So my field officer said, "Do you know how to drive trucks?" I said, "Yeah." I've never driven one in my life.
Yeah.
So I started driving milk tankers for Murray Goulburn. I never had a license. Obviously, I got one. But I remember the first day, the guy teaching me, when we got back, he said to me, "You've never driven a truck?" I said, "Yeah, I have." He said, "I meant before today." I said, "No, not before today."
You're a funny man. I laugh because I worked for the water board, right? And I had a Holden Monaro, and I worked for the water board for about 6 years. I had a Holden Monaro when I was a young boy, and I was king of the kids. And then what happened? One day I got a promotion, and it made me a supervisor, which meant I had to drive the boys around. So I went to my boss, and he said, "I'll bring your license in tomorrow because you got to get you a water board license." I looked him in the eye and said, I was 28, right? I said, "Boss, I don't have a license." He goes, "You must have a fucking license. You've been driving this Monaro to work every day." I said, "No, that just means I can drive. Doesn't mean I've got a license." So I never, think about it, guys, I never had a license for 10 years.
Yeah.
Until I was forced to get one, which is the good thing. I was forced to get one to get this promotion, wanky $5 a week extra for the water board.
Yeah, I think it's I could tell you a few stories too.
We could talk. You and I could talk for years, Robbie, because we've lived life, guys. And if you want to get out there and live life, guys, don't sit on the bloody bed. Read books. Stop watching TV. Read books and get out there and make shit happen. Right?
Yeah, I don't watch TV. You mentioned that earlier. I don't watch TV. I never watch the local news.
No, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what's going on. I don't care because I got no control over it, so I don't give a damn. Right?
I've got one last story for you on the license caper. I'm probably the only guy in Australia that drove an 𝐌𝐢𝐴𝐻𝐿 to get my license for the first time.
Wow,
I drove it to the cop shop. Now, the guy that owned it said to me, "We're about halfway there." And he said, "Well, you're going to get up it?" And I said, "Am I allowed to?" He said, "Yeah." I went down a couple of gears. I was doing 100 mile an hour on the way to the Hayfield police station, which is a little country town in Victoria. When we got to the cop shop, pulled up out the front, and we walked in, and the cop looked at me, he said, "Did you just drive that here?" And at the time, that particular vehicle was the fastest four-door saloon car in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that particular car today, if it was still in pristine condition, you'd get somewhere between $700,000 to $1 million for it, and it cost $5,400. Yeah. And the cop just said, "Well, we don't need to go for a drive," and wrote out my license, gave it to me.
Fantastic. All right, Robbie, we're going to wrap it up. And guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, just like Robbie, come and reminisce, tell us a few stories. Every man and woman's got a story, and we'd love to hear your story. $30,000 for a TV commercial, and people go and make a meat pie or grab a beer out of the fridge while it's on. 10 radio spots in your city, and they'll play them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Come on, 15 minutes of fame. We'll put you across all the major social media channels and potentially put you in front of hundreds of clients. So, guys, there's the invitation for you. You've been an awesome guest, Robbie. Thanks for being on the show today, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you and appreciate your listeners. Have a great day.